We start this demonstration with a quick look at the Bird BBQ Go 6 probe wireless temperature probe system. Okay, we open the box and you have a look inside, and there's the BBQ Go device. I'll turn it on quickly, and so it comes on and it's looking for wireless connection, and it's automatically connected to the Android device here. We've got an Android device here, and we've got another Android device. So this one's a phone. I'm going to do the demonstration with a small tablet rather than the phone because it's got a bigger screen. So if we scroll up here, we can see the 6 probe slots. I haven't connected the probes yet, so there's nothing on the maker's screen, on the Bird BBQ Go screen. So we'll just pause it there and I'll connect the probes up. Okay, now I've connected one probe up. As you can see, we've got the temperature of 22 degrees Celsius on the BBQ Go, Bird BBQ Go, and I've already downloaded the BBQ Go application onto the tablet, and it's showing under a test selection 22 degrees. That's one probe. Now I'm going to connect the rest of the probes up. I'll connect another probe up and we'll have a look at that. We've now got 5 probes connected. I'm going to use 5 probes in this demonstration. You might think that's a little bit of an overkill for a barbecue, but what we're going to do is we're going to have one probe inserted into a chicken, one probe inside the Weber barbecue I'm going to be using to show the internal temperature of the Weber barbecue, one probe inserted into a roast pork, one probe under the skin of the roast pork, and one showing the temperature of the barbecue oven used for the roast pork. Now going back to our application, the BBQ Go application, if I scroll up, you can see that the 5 probes have registered all obviously the same temperature because it's out in the air temperature at 22 degrees. This is almost winter in Queensland. And what we can do is we can set a timer. I'll just demonstrate that. We can set a timer. If you have a look, we can scroll through and set a timer for however many minutes we want. Or we can preset a temperature. I'll remove the timer. We can preset a temperature by pressing the temperature button. I'll get that there. And we can select chicken. We're going to use number 1 probe for chicken. This is, I think, number 1 probe. We select chicken and down the bottom set preset. Okay, so we'll set the preset for chicken. It's going to tell us the chicken's done at 74 degrees, and it'll beep, and you'll see later on how it beeps. Now we're going to do the same for the pork. That'll be probe number 3. We'll select pork here. Pork only has one temperature, it's done. That's for health reasons, of course. Set the preset, and number 3 probe says the pork will be done at 63 degrees. Is that the same as chicken? No, chicken is 74. So chicken done is 74, pork is 63. Now, as for the crackling, I don't know, but we'll have a look. I'm going to insert the probe just under the fat, and we'll have a look at the crackling later on. Now, you can see that the Bird BBQ Go is cycling through probes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just a quick test of one of the probes. If I hold it, you'll see that the temperature will increase as it cycles down there. So the chicken done, I'm holding onto the number 1 probe. The chicken here is showing 27 degrees and it's showing 28 degrees while I hold it. So I'm holding the probe there. I'll have to clean that before I put in the chicken there. Okay, that's all for the moment, and we'll come back. On our BBQ Go, or with our BBQ Go app, we can download it from either the Apple Store, App Store, or Google Play Store. So we'll have a look at Google Play Store and see if we can find it. You just type in here, I'll just move that out of the way. BBQ space Go, The instructions are in the manual it comes with. So we've got barbecue go typed in, we press enter, and lo and behold, there's the application, barbecue go from Inkbird Tech, and it's got 4.8 likes, whatever the number of people who have liked it is. I think it's better than a 5. It's a marvellous piece of gear. That's all I needed to show you there. Once we select the barbecue go, so we go back to our home and press barbecue go, and we've got the chicken probe. I'm waiting for the rubber to heat up. It's only showing 33 degrees so far, but the barbecue itself, the gas barbecue, is heating up quite nicely. We need to get that to about 220 degrees at least before we put the pork in, so we get decent crackling. So you can see the temperature internally is going up. That's excellent. That's what we want. The Inkbird 6 probe barbecue thermometer comes with 6, you can only see 4 here, 6 clips for mounting the probes in the barbecue, and 6 probes. There's only 1 probe shown here. Now if we move across to the barbecue, the 2 barbecues are over here. We've got the Weber barbecue with the chimneys here heating up the barbecue bricks, briquettes, and you can see that the probe I've got sitting here is going to measure the internal temperature of the barbecue. That's the air temperature inside the barbecue itself. On the Turbo Elite barbecue I've got here, I've got the probe sitting there, and you can see it's heating up over there. Current temperature shows on the clock there at 200, and because I just opened it, the temperature has dropped a little, but it was showing pretty much the same temperature on both the probe and the lid. So 195 there. So it's heating up nicely. Now we've got the roast pork about to go in. I've got the internal pork probe here. That's about the tip of the probe is where you're measuring the temperature from. That's about right in the centre, about there. It's a fairly large piece of pork. It doesn't look like it because of my fat fingers. Now under the skin I've got the other probe going just under the skin, so the end of it is about there. So we're going to measure the temperature of the skin while we're cooking it to see what the temperature is like under the skin when we get really good crackling. We're ready to put it in. The temperature, as we can see here, once we watch it cycle through, we could have a look on the Android tablet as well, but we don't need to. Did I mention that the tablet is Bluetooth connected to this transmitter? This is a transmitter. The tablet is a Bluetooth receiver, and it's showing now at 259 degrees external, that's the internal temperature of the oven. The internal temperature of the pork is 5 degrees and under the skin is 12. I'll set the pork crackling temperature. This is the oven temperature of the barbecue. That's this barbecue. I'll set the pork crackling temperature for the internal temperature of the barbecue to 250 degrees. That's fairly simple by pressing the temperature button and selecting it, similar to what I showed you with the timer. So I'll set that so it's going to beep shortly and tell me that the temperature's right, at which stage I can reduce the temperature of the oven a little bit. Okay, we'll wait until that happens. Now the skin temperature, as you can see, is 41 degrees, and we've got 6 degrees of the internal temperature of the pork. It's risen by a degree. This is several minutes later, maybe 5 or 10 minutes after I put the pork in the oven. Now we've got the temperature for the oven for the barbecue. This is the gas barbecue set to 250 degrees, the oven temperature. It's currently sitting on 249. So we can see the Bluetooth connection here is showing it as 249 degrees with the alarm set for 250. It won't take too long for it to get to 250, I don't believe. As well as that, what I've done is I've dropped the chicken in there. The oven temperature for the chicken Weber, this one here, is set. Well, I haven't set a temperature, a maximum temperature of that, because I don't know what it's going to go up to, but it's currently at 21 degrees, 92 degrees at least. We'll scroll up for the pork at 249, and it's got to go soon. Can't stay there forever. And I've got two there it goes. Okay, I've got two there in the centre. I just press the OK button down the bottom, and it's showing at 251. I just wind the temperature of the centre two gas jets to off. I don't need them anymore, I don't believe. So the temperature is going to stay pretty high. It's currently at 253, that's good. And we're about to put the chicken in. The temperature there is 106 degrees, so I'll put the chicken in and we'll have a look at the chicken starting to cook. The internal temperature of the pork while we're here is showing at 6 degrees. The underskin temperature is 52, and the temperature of the barbecue is around 250. We need to put the probe in for the chicken next. You put the probe in from the non-leg end, and you put it into the breast, and it should go, now we're after the point of the probe about here inside the chook. Okay, so we put it down there into the breast and push it up so it's about halfway through, and it's about there, the centre of the probe. Okay, we'll put the lid on, we'll start cooking it. Temperature is coming up, 11 degrees internal temperature, and it's rested outside for a bit, and 93 degrees, 94 now for the oven temperature. So we've got a fairly stable 250, 247 degree temperature. The internal temperature of the pork has increased, and the skin temperature is now 56 degrees for the pork. Now, with this Bird BBQ Go, we can have the tablet a fair distance away from the temperature centre itself, or the BBQ Go unit. So we'll put this out on the barbecue table, and we can see all the temperatures here. Okay, one of the other benefits of using this tablet, it's an ASUS tablet. The benefits of using this particular one is that it doesn't shut itself down, shut the video down, so it leaves running all the time. That chews up the battery, but that's something we're just going to have to suffer with, or I'll plug it in to keep it charged. Okay, we'll come back when the chicken and the pork is cooked a bit. Okay, the chicken is now done. If I zoom in, we have a look at chicken done at 74 degrees, temperature's reached. I'll press the OK button here, and it'll go back to the previous screen. You can see there that we've got a chicken done at 74 degrees, so it's time to take the chicken out. We'll go over and have a look at the chicken. Walk, walk, walk. There it is, the chicken's done. Okay, if we have a look again at the system here, it shows the chicken air temperature was 133, the pork internal temperature was 59, I think it was, and the ambient temperature, Queensland, remember, is now 20 degrees at least. I've got a temperature probe hanging off the pool fence there. Okay, next one. Now that the chicken's done, I'm going to pull out the chicken temperature probes, which is probe number 1, probe number 2, and the ambient temperature probe number 6. So we're left with probe numbers 3, 4 and 5, 3 being the pork temperature, 5 being the skin temperature, 4 being the skin temperature of the pork, and 5 being the internal temperature of the barbecue. Okay, having a look at the tablet, the Android tablet with the application running, we've got the pork internal temperature of 60 degrees, the underskin for the crackling is 125 degrees, and the internal temperature of the barbecue at 191 degrees. So we've got another 5 degrees to go before the pork is cooked, because the temperature, 3 degrees at least, because the pork done temperature is 63, as you can see there. Okay, now the ultimate test to see if the chicken's cooked to perfection is to stick a steel probe into the chicken and see if any red comes out, and none does. So there's no red juice coming out. Can you stick it into the side as well for me, just to prove this? Perfect. That's a well-cooked chicken. So thanks to the Bird BBQ Go probe system, we have a perfectly cooked chicken. We're now at the final stages of cooking the pork. The internal temperature is 62 degrees. It's about to go to 63. So we're almost done with the pork. You can see it cycling through because I've taken all probes out apart from the 3 pork probes. Then we're getting numbers 3, 4 and 5. Now if I take out the remaining probes, 5 and 4, we'll only have number 3 showing, which is all we've got. Okay, that's going to switch now. I'll just move that away so it's obvious it's not connected. I said I'll move it away. Yep, it's obviously not connected. We've only got number 3 probe in there. It's showing 62 degrees. So we'll come back to this in a moment when it's finished cooking. That's 63 degrees. As you can see, the temperature has been reached at least. I press OK, and it shows 63 degrees for the pork. So we'll go over to the barbecue, open it up, and have a look at some perfectly cooked pork and perfect crackling. Now, one thing you should never do with these probes is run the probe itself across the flames. This is a special type of barbecue with the glass cover over the heating element, or the burner, but I've run the probes through the handle to keep them away from the flames. If you put them over the flames get to, I don't know, about 500 degrees Celsius, which we don't want to subject the probe cables to. Okay, so we'll turn it off there and we'll have a look when we cut the pork at how well cooked it is. Okay, we're about to cut some crackling off and see what it looks like. Listen to that. Okay, we'll put it in somebody's face, a small piece of it. A little piece there.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. Can you hold it yet? Not too hot? Okay. Is that good? Try crunching it a bit more. Grab a piece more. Crunch it off. Yeah. Listen to that. That's proper crackling, that is. Is that good crackling?